Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Do you want to know what it is? You can feel it when you go to work, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Is the truth, nothing more.
And shalom, 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 everyone. We want to welcome everyone over here to King James Bible University under Precept Mastery. And we're coming to you guys today because we want to get some clarifications. We want to get understandings. We want to get a lot of things correct because as we're going to be moving forward, we're actually going to push strongly forward on classes based on a lot of these books. And with them, they want to make sure this is a worldwide study to where they can get a hold of more people, because as we were going through and doing personal classes and doing classes also under the King James Bible University, under their classroom, it became very encumbersome because we have a lot of students that was trying to come in but was unable to come in based on a lot of situations and people requesting specific teachers. So this here, they seen a better way to do it, and I was more so inclined to go with them on that direction. So what we want to do is get an understanding and let's see how we can move forward in doing what we need to take care of here based on a worldwide study on what we're doing. because many people want to learn the Bible. However, we have a lot of people that like to come in to channels, but then they proceed, they want to do certain things while they're in the channel. So we're going to show you some things here to get some understandings and to where we can understand what's going on, because this is under Precept Mastery. Now, this is under what I actually have. This is actually under me, not under King James Bible. It's actually under me, but it's doing it through them. So one of the main things I want people to really understand as what we're trying to do, where we're trying to get to all people that who is Israel, who want to learn and understand what is required of them, what they need to do to enter into the kingdom. So this is real short, because anybody can come back here, look at what's being required, and then they can enter in, and we shouldn't be having no problems on anything. And I can always refer them back to this taping here. So this is the Precept Mastery Worldwide Classroom Studies based on what we're doing, and we're already going to be going through Romans, which we already started on. So I want to show you some of the things that you need to be doing actually as you enter into the class. Meaning what? We're going to find out some of the rules and respect of this worldwide classroom studies. We got to understand some of the rules and the respect for each other, because many people have not been in classes for many years. However, one must be respectful of others, because we have people from all four corners of the earth, and we have people who think they personal issues or they personal things or they personal questions only pertains to them, and they can care less about everybody else. Well, in this setting, that's not going to be happening. So we want to make sure everything is clear, so we won't have to go back and be referring to things on what's going to be going on with these worldwide class studies. Meaning what? We have to be respectful to each other. So as long as we're respectful to each other, we can always enjoy and study based on what we want to do. Meaning what? Meaning this. We got the rules on what's going to go down. One, we have what we really need to understand. Do not post scripture as if you are assisting the teacher. I don't need anyone posting scriptures along with me to sit there to show that they posted scriptures to assist me in any way. If I needed that assistance, I would have asked for it. However, I have the Most High God who actually gives me the scriptures, what I need to do and what I need to post. So I don't need anyone else helping me to post scriptures or put the scriptures so more to where you agreeing with me just posting another scripture. That's something that you do not do, and if you do it, that actually will be deleted automatically. So when you come in, do not post scriptures as if you are assisting me in any way, shape, form, or direction that you feel they need to go. Because if that's something that you strongly feel that this scripture he should have used or that scripture they should have used, if you need to do that, then the best thing for you to do is to go to YouTube, which you already on YouTube. Go create your own channel, create your own platform, and then you start your own classes and your own channels right there, and then you do it the way that you feel that it should be done. That's what we're looking for here. So do not post scriptures within the chat room that's there, because this chat room, we need to be used for a specific reason. That's why we want that to be available. 2, do not hold or please do not have private conversations within the chat board. That's something else that we're asking you not to do, because what happens is 2 things. When you posting stuff to other people, what I'm doing as I'm teaching is just like I'm in an open room when I do that, and I look and I can see the chat board. So, and I'm looking for questions because I don't know what could be happening. So what I do, I end up glassing, and it throws me off many times. So we're asking for you, please, not to just post private conversations in the chat board, because all before we come on, that's fine. If you good morning to everybody, shalom to everybody, shalom, all that's fine. But once the class starts, we ask you not to post anything. Just questions that you might have pertaining to the verse that is at hand, that is before us. That's all we're asking you to do. And this is what we're looking for, because any other thing, we will be deleting those from there. And we try to keep it to where we can keep that chat board open to where we don't have to shut it down. Because most people sit there and some people take it, well, I don't know who they think these people are. No, what we try to do is have a worldwide classroom view to where everybody can come in and they can learn in one place. And then when they have a valid question, they can actually post it there, and then we can properly ask it. We can properly answer it. Not just where we have to sift through just a lot of stuff. I have to go do this. I need to go do that. I'm going to tell you what, I'll talk to you guys later. All that we don't need there. All you do is just bow out. You just take yourself off and you just move forward. And then we have the other one. Please do not ask questions that do not pertain to the lesson. Please do not ask questions that do not pertain to the lesson. Many people like to do that. But you have to remember, we're doing a worldwide study. Meaning what? We have people from all four corners of the earth actually going to be, again, asking questions pertaining to the lesson. And then you might sit there and say, I know this is off topic, but I want to ask this question. So those questions will not be answered. Those questions will not be answered for the simple fact that we need to stay to what the lesson is. So if you have any question that is like that, the best thing to do is to send me an email. Send me an email and we can answer whatever question that you have. However, you ask it here, you have about a 99.999% chance it will not get answered. The main thing why? Because we have a larger audience of people that we have to make sure that they came here for this specific reason. They come in here for Romans right now, and we'll be going through other books, but they come in here for Romans. We want to make sure that they get information in meat, in water, based on what is going on in Romans. So that's another one. And this is one, it's the same as I said before. If one need to leave the classroom, you don't have to sit there and tell us, shalom everybody, I gotta go do this. Don't just sign out and just go ahead and you do what you have to do. There's no reason for you to sit there to let us know or to let me know that you have to leave. So all you do, just sign out, bow out, and just go ahead and do what you have to do. Because again, you're putting that in the chat room. And if we see people that continuously do that, what they're going to end up doing, we're going to end up blocking you from the channel. And that's something we don't want to do. But some people will sit there saying, you can't tell me what to do, but we're asking you to have respect for everyone. So we have to have respect for everyone. We got to treat everyone the same. And as I said, we have people from all four corners of the earth that will be in these classroom studies. So we're asking you to be respectful to each other, and we want to be respectful to one another, as well as I want to be respectful to you and not treat you or sit there to treat you as someone to where we end up having to block you from the channel. We're also looking for you, if anyone want to have access to the Zoom live classroom in the back, which you can post questions immediately, as well as you can end up coming voicefully to where you can ask a question, put your hand up, and you can ask it voicefully to where I can hear you and we can talk back and forth and actually have a conversation. You can do that back in the Zoom room. That will always be shown at the bottom, not most times before the class starts, but most times right before the class starts, you'll see that Zoom access room will be posted there. The reason why, we have 200 seats will always be available in the back. 200 seats will always be available in the back to where you can come in the back, and then you can come back there to where you can ask questions and everything else. And if you want to ask questions and just post them and don't want to talk or whatever, that's fine. You don't have to. You can just post a question and I can still read it and still answer your question. Or if you want to talk, you can come up, put your hand up, you can come up, and then we can also talk. So we can have both ways. I prefer to do it that way, but the same thing is some people don't want to talk online. That's fine. And some people feel very comfortable. So either way, I will answer the question either way, so it doesn't matter. Now we want to understand what the requirements are. We need to understand what the requirements are for this worldwide study. What are the requirements? We have most people who they try to look at different things and try to understand different things, what's going on and what are some of the requirements. And the main requirement and the most understanding of all things, we need a King James Bible with the Apocrypha. We need a King James Bible with the Apocrypha. That is your main tool that you will be using all the time. And my question to you is, do not come to class and not be prepared without that. Do not come to class without that. Why? Because this is your tool of use. This is your tool of use. This is what you're going to need to be having. This is what we're going to be running on. This is what all your meat is always going to be here. All your meat is going to be here. Now, if anyone want to purchase other than that, because you also going to need a notebook and pencils and erasers, but if you need a school workbook, we also have the school workbooks now available because they run in the same way that they run in King James Bible University. We run it the same way, which we have a workbook for Romans if you want to purchase that. You'll see I think I'm going to have a link up in a second where you can do it. But what we want to do, we want to make sure if you want to do that personal one, you have the entire book of Romans, but then you have a part for it where you can always put in all your notes, and you can actually mark this book up because that's what it's actually for. And then some people I know they like to keep their Bible clean and neat. I do know people who like to do that, but then you can have all your notes in Romans, in the book of Romans, but then you can run back there and you can do what you need to do, so you can have the both running. So we do have the workbooks available. The workbook, I believe, is $15. You can get a digital copy. The digital copy also from Lulu, which I believe is $12, which you can download. But then you can print from each lesson, and then you can print them out for your own use. You can do that all day. But then you also need your pencil and eraser. And the reason I'm saying pencil because it's something very specific I want you to make sure you do. But before I get there, I want to make sure you set personal time. Personal time. And I can't stress this enough. Personal time to truly study the Word. I'm not saying just here. Here you're getting everything, your instructions and understanding. But when you need to study, you need personal time to truly study. It's not a thing where we're going to study here and then I'm off to the races and I go and act my normal way the rest of the week, and then I come back and I do another personal study. No, because then you're truly not really learning. Because it's a certain way we have this classroom going to be set. A certain way this classroom is going to be set. That's why we're saying this. This is why we have it that way. So we want to understand you need that personal time to truly study. That we already have. I don't know why I left that there. But the main thing is the homework. This is the key on what the meat of everything what we was talking about. Meaning what? The homework. This is what I need you to do. Because we're not going to be doing the emails in. Well, I don't want you emailing me your homework in because you got to remember again, this is a worldwide study, and this is a new thing that we're doing, and they making sure we can try this to make sure that it'll work successfully. Is the homework is staying 1 or 2 verses ahead of the teacher at all times. So what is that saying? If you stay 1 or 2 verses ahead of me, always. So right now we're going to verse 5. We'll be in verse 5 on Wednesday. So if you already studying verse 5, you pull precepts and everything that you need to pull, wrong or right, you pull them and you put them in pencil. Wrong or right, you're going to put them in pencil. If you think you're right, you're still going to put them in pencil, and you might be feel you're right and you might be wrong, but you're still going to put it in pencil. Why? Because we're going to check it and we're going to see all the key elements that you needed to be checking once we come in on Thursday, and then you can correct your own paper while we're there. That's why. So if you stay 1 or 2 verses ahead of me, when we get to that verse, you'll already be prepared, and now you're going to check your work. Now you're going to check your work. And as you go, this is going to show how you're going to progress and get better at what you're doing. Because some people, if you just put it in as we teach, it becomes a waste of time. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, because we're not here to sugarcoat to cinch people on doing anything. Because if you do not do the work, it's a waste of your own time to where you just putting it in as we do it. You want to truly go study, put in the work, wrong or right, and then when we come and we start giving you all the answers to that verse, now you can check it against what you did, and you can say, I got this wrong. You can erase it, put in the right correction, and you move forward. Erase it, put in the right correction, move forward. Some of it might be right. Oh yeah, this is correct. Oh, this is right. Or we're going to tell you what, this is the same silhouette picture as this. Oh, I'm good here. I can move here. We're going to tell you what, this is wrong. Erase it. Let me put the correct answer in there. I went off on the deep end on this end. So you'll be doing a self-correcting as we're correcting the worldwide papers here. This is the thing that you're going to do. Now we have another thing that I do, and I'm asking that all people do, and we have a lot of people out there where we were selling, and we still do sell it, is the preceptor. Now many of you guys still have them, and many people have those out there. But I'm asking you a favor. I need a favor from you guys. Some people are going to do it, some people are not, but I'm asking a favor. Do not use them at the beginning for each verse for the study. That's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you not to use the preceptor. I know some of you guys are going to get upset, but I'm asking you not to use them for each verse of the beginning of your study. So when we go into verse 5, I don't want you to use the preceptor to go and you do your study ahead of me for verse 5. Why? It's almost be unfair to the other people who don't have them. Because what happened is you end up using the methodology and everything behind that application, and you'll actually be able to pull all the answers. So we want you to use your Bible. We want you to go through and start doing your precepting to get your understanding from there. But if you use the preceptor, I know the methodology that's behind that, and I know and then you can actually pull the answer, because many people will pull it based on the question and answers that you have to answer within that preceptor. So I'm asking everybody who has them not to use them for the verse. Now, after you have the verse, and once we check it, then you can go ahead and then use the preceptor and then fill it up and do whatever you want to do with it from that point. But if you use it, it's almost like Mike Tyson meeting a 10-year-old kid, and it'll be kind of unfair for other ones, because then you'll feel that other ones is way behind, but you have a tool that actually helps you immensely to pull answers you need. So I'm asking you guys not to use that until after we do the verse. So if you want to get the workbook, you can go to Lulu. It's not being sold on Amazon. So you can go to Lulu and you can put in the search and put in the Book of Romans study book. You can put that in there and you can see it there. You can see an electronic version as well as the printout version, to where you can actually get it right down there from Lulu. So if you want to do that, you do it. But what we're going to do, we're going to be going through quite a bit of stuff all the time. And this one here, this is something that they've been looking to pull. I'm trying to just pull my stuff up if I get that. And I'm trying to get most of this, and I'm sitting there and seeing the photos not good, so I need to pull something else. So let me do something while we're working. And let me do this real quick. And let me take care, because it's coming out not too clear. So I want to do it two different ways. I want to do something another way. And let me pull this here. If I can get that. Why is that not showing there? So 1 second, let me just take care of this real quick. And I can probably get that to pop right in, because it's showing not too hot. So I do have another thing I can actually pull to make it pull a lot better. And let me pull this. I don't know why the image is showing that way, but I'm switching it now. I see it here. So now I can pull this over and switch it out. Once I see where there we go. So let me pull this. It's pulling up right now to where I can be able to switch this out. And I'll be able to switch that out in 1 second. And there we go. And there we go there. And now we have audio, so now we're good. So we should be good. I do apologize for that, but we had to switch some things out to make sure everything was good. So that's one of the things that we're actually doing. So we're trying to make sure that we're pretty good on that. And the same thing is to where when you want to come into these studies, we're going to be having them pretty much once a week. We're going to get the date nailed down. But the main thing is a lot of these studies we're going to have, and then from there you'll see them sitting on YouTube, but most of them are going to always end up being sitting inside the MOAD is where we're going to be going. So with that, I do have how and where do you register. See, right now that's why they're trying this. So right now technically you don't have to register. Now if you want to register with us to where you can get actually access to some backroom information, you can actually go over to the MOAD, you can actually register. You can register there, then we can get information for you. And it's and saying we have one person we're trying to catch up on Romans 3. So yeah, that's fine. But the main thing is, as you pick up the verses and you're doing the verses, you're doing everything there, what's going to happen is I'm going to be starting on Romans verse 5. And Romans verse 5, you're gonna start seeing a whole lot of stuff that most people never probably even seen before. But everything we have to approve with all scripture. But the thing what I want you to do is what I'm asking. I want you to go to verse 5. And if you can, and I believe that's Brother Larry, I want you to go to verse 5. Study 5, and I want you to sit there and look at the key elements and everything what you need to be looking at and what scriptures you need to be seeing, and just jot them down. Just jot them down, and once you jot them down, you'll know what you have in there to where you'll know what you can do. And then when I come in on Wednesday, now I'm gonna be feeding verse 5 out. I'm gonna be letting you know what all the information is. Once you know what the information is, you can jot all that down. But then what you had incorrect, all you gotta do is erase it off. It's that simple. Then if you have a question about it, you ask the question. And seeing the only stupid question is a question that's not asked. So most people they kind of get nervous about asking questions because they don't want to feel stupid or whatever. But the stupidest question is the one that you don't ask. And then later what will happen is people will sit there and say, I didn't want to say nothing outwardly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to email you the question. And it's the same question. You have a 99.9% chance I'm not going to answer it because you're asking me this question when you had the opportunity. And could you post the site of the thing? Okay. Post the site, yeah. You can go right here if you want to register. Hold 1 second. Yeah. And that's the site where you can actually go there. You can register with us right now. You can do that over there. However, but once you do that, you can do many things with that. So the same thing what we were saying, we're asking people who have, if you have the preceptor, we're asking you not to use that while you're going through the study until after we do verse 5, then use the preceptor. But if you use it before then, it's almost being unfair. It's also being unfair to your fellow student because you'll be able to pull way more stuff than they can, and that's what's going to happen. So with that. This is just short, just to keep people to what's going on. So what we want to do is we be able to refer people back here and knowing what some of the rules are. So when we come in on Wednesdays, and then I will be doing on some Sundays. So because what I'm gonna try to do it twice a week. So I'm gonna try to come in on the Sundays. So once we can get that really nailed down, we want people just to come in. And then keep it blank, just kind of how it is there, and then just basically question. Then once we go through, I can easily go through and answer all the questions we need to answer. And then if you want to talk to me to where we can talk back and forth, then you just access us through the Zoom side. And that's the simplest thing to do. So with that, I believe that we have answered everything, and I believe we shouldn't have any other questions there. So other than that, we will be out, and on Wednesday, we're going to get cranked up on the on verse 5, which And actually, I can't read it for you because I'm going to tell you, verse 5, it's a part in there that people really need to really look at, and you have to look at it real close. So as I said, and as I teach, I tell you things to do and make sure you look out for and to understand what is happening. So, and the main thing is, and what I want everybody to understand is this. Everybody I want to understand is this. You know, if you was under theology, Christian doctrine, whatever kind, the best thing to do in the world, take it, ball it up, throw it in the trash can. The reason why, because you'll always struggle. You got to remember, he don't mix his doctrine with no one. So if his doctrine is not mixed with no one, there's no reason for you to try to mix some theology with his doctrine. There's no reason for you to try to mix something else with his doctrine, because it's going to come out incorrect every time. But this is the verse that we got to be going through, and it's Romans chapter 1 verse 5. It says, by whom we receive grace and apostleship for obedience to the faith among all nations for his name. We need to understand what he's saying. So that's what I said. So it's the same as what you have to understand is you using the wisdom, the understanding, the same as your parents when they told you things. And now you're grown and you can speak by something by experience, and you might say something a completely different way, but you basing what you told somebody based on what your mother told you, based on what your father told you, based on what your grandparents told you, based on what some cousins might have told you, based on what some aunts might have told you, and you wrapping that all up, and now you was able to put all that together, and now you can actually give somebody some wisdom with all that information together, and you threw out all which was bad and you kept all that was good, and now you're feeding that to somebody. That's what you're doing. And that's what Paul is doing. Paul is doing the identical thing. Paul is taking the exact same thing on what he did and what he went through, and he's taking all that, putting it together, and then he's giving it to you all in that doctrine, and he's giving you that doctrine. That's why Paul is so dangerous with the law. So that's what's going on there. So that's what's happening. So let's see, other than that, it looked like everything else we're good. So with that, I think we'll be done with it. So from there we can actually end up moving out, and we have no other questions there. So we will be looking at you got on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday we're gonna try to make sure it's on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock it'll be 7 o'clock your time. Is what we're trying to make sure of. So with that, I believe we have all the questions answered. Any other thing that people may be looking for or want, but we want to make sure that you have access to make sure you can do everything you need to do. So with that, I bid to each and every person to where once you go through this, make sure that your studies is always be to what you want to do, and always stay hardcore to your studies, but always set aside some time to make sure that you go through that Bible. So with that, I bid each and every one a shalom.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Do you want to know what it is? You can feel it when you go to work, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison. prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.